This is not just a story of gods and angels. It is a story about you, in an age before time was measured. In a world woven from dust and divine breath, there lived a man named Job. He was a good man, his life a testament to unwavering faith. His days were filled with sunlight, his fields were abundant, and the laughter of his children was a constant melody. He saw the face of God, not in burning bushes or parting seas, but in the quiet loyalty of his wife, the warmth of his home, and the simple turning of the seasons. He believed the universe was a place of order, a grand design where goodness was rewarded and righteousness was its own shield. And for a time it was. But darkness is not merely an absence of light. It is a presence, a watcher, a question waiting to be asked. From the hidden corners of creation, a whisper arose, a challenge to the harmony of Job's world. It was the voice of the great accuser who roamed the earth, observing the hearts of men. He came before the throne of God and pointed to Job. "Does Job fear God for nothing?" he asked. "Have you not put a hedge around him and his house and all that he has? But stretch out your hand and touch all that he has, and he will curse you to your face." And so the hedge was removed. The test began. One by one, the pillars of Job's world crumbled. His oxen and donkeys stolen, his sheep consumed by fire from the sky, his camels carried away by raiders, his servants slain by the sword. He heard the news, one messenger after another, each bringing a new wave of desolation. Yet Job stood firm. He tore his robe and shaved his head, but he did not curse God. He fell to the ground and worshipped, saying, "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." But the accuser was not finished. "Skin for skin," he declared. "All that a man has he will give for his life. But stretch out your hand and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse you to your face." And so Job was struck with grievous sores, from the sole of his foot to the crown of his head. He sat in ashes, scraping his wounds with a piece of broken pottery. The world that had once been a song of joy was now a silent scream. His own wife, her heart shattered, cried out, "Do you still hold fast your integrity? Curse God and die." But Job, his body a map of pain, replied, "Shall we receive good from God, and shall we not receive evil?" In all this, Job did not sin with his lips. This is where everything changed. 3 friends, hearing of his tragedy, came to comfort him. They sat with him in silence for 7 days and 7 nights, for they saw that his suffering was very great. But when the silence was finally broken, it was not with comfort, but with questions. They were men of logic, of cause and effect. They believed, as Job once had, in a world of perfect justice. Surely, they reasoned, such immense suffering must be the result of a hidden sin. "Confess," they urged him. "What have you done to deserve this?" They painted a picture of a transactional God, a celestial judge who rewards the good and punishes the wicked with mathematical precision. They spoke of divine law, of cosmic balance, and of Job's secret transgressions. They tried to fit his immeasurable pain into their small, ordered boxes of understanding. They meant to bring comfort, but instead they brought a deeper torment. Job listened, his soul crying out from a prison of flesh. He knew he was not perfect, but he also knew he was not a wicked man deserving of such utter ruin. He defended his integrity, not out of pride, but out of a desperate need for truth. He argued, he raged, he pleaded with the silent heavens. He did not ask for his wealth back, nor his health, nor even his children. He asked for something far more fundamental. He asked for an answer. He asked for God. Why? He cried into the void. Why me? Show me my transgression. Let me speak with the Almighty and reason with my Judge. He was no longer just a man in pain. He became the voice of all humanity in its darkest hour. He became the eternal question mark, etched against the backdrop of an indifferent cosmos. His friends saw a sinner. The accuser saw a test subject. But Job was simply a man, a soul adrift, crying out for the one relationship that had defined his entire existence. And this is why this story matters now. Because you, too, have sat in the ashes. You have felt the sting of unjust loss. You have watched the righteous suffer while the wicked prosper. You have screamed your own why into a silent sky, your faith stretched to its breaking point. You have been told that your suffering is your fault, a punishment for some unknown sin, or a lesson you are supposed to learn. You have been given answers that do not answer, and comfort that does not comfort. But here is the truth rarely spoken. After weeks of debate, of accusations and defenses, a voice finally answered Job, but it did not come from his friends. It came from the whirlwind. The voice of God spoke, but it did not answer Job's question. It did not explain the wager with the accuser. It did not list Job's sins or pronounce his innocence. It did not justify the suffering. Instead, God asked Job questions of his own. Where were you when I laid the foundation of the earth? Can you bind the chains of the Pleiades or loose the cords of Orion? Do you give the horse its might? Is it by your wisdom that the hawk soars? Question after question, God unveiled the sheer, untamed majesty and mystery of creation. He revealed a universe far wilder, more complex, and more magnificent than Job's neat categories of reward and punishment could ever contain. It was not an explanation. It was a revelation. It was a vision of a reality so vast, so interwoven with power and beauty, that a single human life, even one filled with suffering, was part of a tapestry too grand to be judged by its individual threads. In that moment, Job understood. He did not get the answer he thought he wanted, but he got the presence he desperately needed. He saw that faith is not a contract with God to prevent suffering. Faith is the trust to stand within the whirlwind, to witness the terrifying and beautiful mystery, and to know that you are held within it, even when you do not understand it. He replied, I had heard of you by the hearing of the ear, but now my eye sees you. This moment still echoes within you. The question God never answered for Job is the same question he does not answer for you. He does not explain the why of your specific pain. Instead, he invites you to see a bigger reality. He invites you to stand in the storm of your life, to feel its raw power, and to see his presence not as an escape from the storm, but as the deep, unshakable foundation beneath it. The story ends with Job's restoration. His health, his family, his fortunes all were returned to him, doubled. But this is not the point. The true restoration was not external, but internal. Job was reborn. He emerged from the ashes not with an answer, but with a deeper, more resilient faith forged in fire, stripped of illusion, and rooted in the direct experience of the divine. Your life is not a simple equation of cause and effect. Your suffering is not always a punishment, and your blessings are not always a reward. You are living inside a grand, mysterious, and often wild story. Like Job, you are called to let go of your need for simple answers and open yourself to the profound mystery of existence. You are called to find God not in the absence of storms, but in the heart of the whirlwind. Remember the man in the ashes. Remember his cry for justice and his encounter with mystery. Your own story of loss and redemption is woven into his. The light you seek is not a light that eliminates all shadows, but a light that allows you to see in the dark. Your rebirth comes not when all your questions are answered, But when you learn to live in the beautiful, terrifying, and sacred presence of the questioner, you are seen, you are held, you are part of a story far grander than you can imagine. Thank you for listening. Follow our channel for more stories of light and rebirth.